In this session, these are predefined slides which I had. So on ggplot2 to be precise. So what is ggplot2? So these are just sample modules which will give you better visualization capabilities. So an implementation of the grammar of graphics by Leland Wilkinson. It is written by Hadley Wickham while he was a graduate student at Iowa State. A third graphic system for R along with Bayesian lattice. So it is available from CRAN via install.packages, and website is www.ggplot2.org. For you can get the documentation from that. So what does ggplot2? ggplot2, it basically represents the grammar and abstraction of graphics ideas or objects. So think verb, noun, adjective for graphics. It allows for a theory of graphics on which to build new graphics and graphics objects. Same as any language, the basic English language or any language. uh, you get the verb, noun, adjective, which forms the building blocks of the entire language. The same way here, the grammar is defined for each and every the plot that is going to be decided. So it will create structure for your plot. So it shortens the distance from mind to page. So grammar of graphics as described by Leland Wilkinson. In brief, the grammar tells us that a statistical graphic is a mapping from data to aesthetic attributes, color, shape, size of geometric objects, points, lines, bars. The plot may also contain statistical transformations of the data and is drawn on a specific coordinate system. So this is taken from the ggplot2 book. I'll give you the reference later, which you can use it for further reading purposes. So plotting systems in R, the base system, like what is that base system is, like I explained to you earlier, but it is like the artist palette model. About a palette artist uses to draw his paintings. So it starts with a blank canvas, and it builds up from there. It start with plot function or similar. So you can use annotation functions to add or modify text, lines, points, axes, etc. Now uh, the base system is it is convenient. It mirrors how we think of building plots and analyzing data. So it can't go back once the plot has started. That is to adjust margins, need to plan in advance. So it is difficult to translate to others once a new plot has been created. There is no, the graphical language is missing in the base package. So the plot is just a series of R commands, which is useful for it. So moving on, the lattice system that we saw, the plots are created with a single function called like xy plot, bw plot, which is the box and whiskers plot, etc. So the most useful for conditioning types of plots. So looking at how y changes with x across levels of z, things like margins slash spacing is set automatically because entire plot is specified at once. So it is good for putting many plots on the screen. So but there are some disadvantages as well. Sometimes it is awkward not to specify uh, an entire plot in a single function call, like so the annotation and the plot, it is intuitive. The use of panel functions and subscripts difficult to wield and requires intense preparation. You cannot add to the plot once it is created. So those are the disadvantages with the lattice plots. So plotting systems in R, ggplot2. What is this ggplot2? It splits the difference between base and lattice. Automatically deals with spacings, text, titles, but it also allows you to annotate by adding. It has superficial similarity to lattice, but generally easier or more intuitive to use. So default mode makes many choices for you, but you can also customize. The basics. qplot. What's or it works much like the plot function in base graphics system. It looks for data in a data frame similar to lattice or in the parent environment. So plots are made up of aesthetics, size, the aesthetics as in the which describes the physical variables of a plot, the size of it, the shape, color, and geoms are like the geometric attributes, points and lines. So the basics, the qplot and ggplot2. So factors are important for indicating subsets of the data. That is, like, if they are to be have different properties, they should be labeled. The qplot hides what goes on underneath, which is okay for most operations. And ggplot is the core function, and it is very flexible for doing things qplot cannot do. So example data set, this data set is available from online. You can take it from any kind of online resources, but this data set I have taken it from free resources. So I have imported this the library of ggplot2. Ggplot2 package has to be brought into reference using the library command. And when you check, there is a data frame called mpg, and when you see the structure of it, I'll explain you the structure. There is five to 10 columns, manufacturer, model, display, year, so cylinder, transaction like drv, city, highway, fl, class, etc, etc. So now we can see manufacturer is a factor with 18 levels, model is factor with 38 levels, display the year is integers, cycle is integer, trans is factor, etc, etc. So still you have, like, there are like lot of things in this data set. So if I want to use a simple ggplot, ggplot hello world. Hello world is a basic, for any programming language, but here I'm just saying hello world using the mpg function. So this is how I use the qplot to plot the thing. So here qplot of display as the x coordinate, hwy as the y coordinate, and the data file is nothing but the mpg file that I'm being important here. This is as simple as that. So this marks the display and highway data, and it gives you a pretty good result. So modifying aesthetics, how to modify the aesthetics. So in the this is a blank graph. So if I want to color code the data inside it, so how do I do it? So you can use the color aesthetic when I specify, for the drv variables as by the drv as a factor, and I want to color using the drv factor. If I mention it, so it will mention for 4, f, and r and different colors. So display highway data equal to mpg, and I am adding a parameter for color which will include drv for those factor, and it is modifying the aesthetic.